feels good to be speedrunning again in 2020. Feels fantastic. So, yeah, I'm going to be running Mighty Switch Force for you. Really excellent game. We're going to be doing any % New Game Plus, which abuses a mechanic in the New Game Plus version of the run called the Mighty Shot, which produces knockback every time you fire it. And the cool thing about it is, if you abuse it in a certain way, you can actually go a little faster than you normally would throughout the levels. So I guess with that, anything else you need from me, or should I just give a countdown? Yeah, sure, no worries. Sure.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Just reminded me I didn't tweet out I was actually doing this. You know, it's been over 3 years since I've actually done anything in a marathon, so feels like I'm kicking off some rust. Thanks for pulling me out of the retirement home. Feels good.
Alright, let me redo that one. Wow! Alright, look, it's cocked.
Hey, that's looking good.
We'll be ready basically now. So feel free to count down whenever.
Alright, so I think anything that needs to be said has been said. So let's get going in 3, 2, 1, go. So, Mighty Switch Force. This level is the beginning of the game here, of course, and this level's got a really, well, let me take a step back here. This game itself does a really good job at introducing all of the different mechanics in an incremental way. So right here you're seeing these switch blocks, which when I press the switch button, they move it into the foreground and background. So it's one of the main mechanics in the game, hence the name Mighty Switch Force. And as you see right here, I am abusing that knockback on the Mighty Shot. Since I'm jumping, I'm not losing any speed due to friction on the ground. And yeah, I just do this pretty much the whole time here to just get through everything as quickly as possible here. So, climbing these cool stairs, getting the last hooligan sister, and you know, just I guess for a bit of lore here. Ooh, I think I'm getting some feedback here. Anyway, the hooligan sisters all escaped from prison, and it's my job to wrangle them up. So that was incident 1 right there. So incident 2 introduces these blocks here that take a couple shots with the normal pea shooter that you get in a New Game run. But with the Mighty Shot, since this is New Game Plus, I can just blow through all of them. So it makes things marginally faster, and it actually makes a lot of the puzzle platforming elements in this game fairly trivial, actually. And you'll be seeing that as this run progresses here. So now, this is also the first level I'm going to do a death warp. Basically grab this last hooligan sister, and then smash myself into the screen. So with that, that'll place me right at this checkpoint here, and I will continue on. So, Incident 3, launch blocks. Those are really cool. That yellow arrow there, that is actually where you end up getting launched when you switch while you're inside it. So, up is the way to go in this incident here, and in dang near a blink of the eye, we are finishing it up. So, Incident 4 is pretty cool. There's a lot of just different ways you can go through this level, and in a speed run, since the goal is to go fast, I am going to be doing this as quickly as possible here. So earlier when I was switching on my way down, that was to free up a hooligan sister with a bomb off screen there, so she should be, yep, right here for me. So I'm just kind of going through and mopping up these hooligan sisters in this incident here. And one cool thing to call out too is these big blocks. These actually need to be blown up by bombs in normal situations, but since I have the almighty Mighty Shot, I just blow through them myself, making things quite a bit faster. So Incident 5 right here, this introduces our little turtle friends here, and these guys are what opens those checkpoints. So I kind of need to play by the rules a little bit here and take them out to continue on. But luckily for me, with the Mighty Shot, I can kill them in one shot. This is something that normally requires a bit more puzzling aspects to take care of them. You generally want to deal with them by smashing them into the foreground, but since I am on, for all intents and purposes, easy mode, I am just flying on through. So the really cool thing about the Any % New Game Plus run is that it's definitely much more a skill-based, trying to get through everything as quickly as possible kind of run. But there's no randomness, and on top of that too, since you're not really waiting around and there's really no downtime, you're just always on the move. So it's that's what's always brought me back to this run, and it's always one of my favorites to showcase because there's just a lot of really cool stuff. So Incident 6, as you're seeing here, introduced these blue and red blocks. And what they do is, just took a bit of a pause there for my own sake, is when you switch while you're standing on them, they will stay in the foreground. So there's a lot of in and out phasing that you can do with these blocks that is completely under your control. So everything you're seeing here is just me setting them up as optimally as I can for further progression. And yeah, just doing the usual, grabbing these hooligan sisters and going. Oh, whoa, hello. So one thing that I've been setting up throughout this level here is a death warp. So I'm going to be getting all of these hooligan sisters, and the last portion is something that I can skip entirely if I do this correctly, which I did. So when I die here, I spawn back at the beginning and hit that checkpoint to fly me out. So Incident 7 is more of these launch block silliness here. But the really cool thing about this is that they're all facing different directions now. So in a more casual playthrough, you'd spend a lot of time just kind of figuring out what the heck do I do with these? And since I have run this game for so long, it's pretty easy for me to just know exactly where I need to go. So that was Incident 7, quick and easy. And I will be moving on to Incident 8 here. So Incident 8 is really cool in design. It's vertical based. Most of the levels, as you'll see, are more horizontal in design, but this one's all about just going up and down as quickly as you can here. So just freeing up all these hooligan sisters through the various means laid out in front of me here. And there we go. There's the last hooligan sister. So yeah, that went really well. There's this little in-joke that I have with the main director of this game that I'm always trying to get 19 seconds for that level, and didn't have too much luck that time, so maybe next time. If this gets another showing, who knows? So this first bit here, I kind of need to let these bombs do what they need to do. Oh shoot, I need to wait for another bomb now, because he'll free up this hooligan sister here. And this level is definitely more of a puzzle in design as well that I can trivialize quite a bit with my weapon. There's a bunch of these just big blocks here that you normally need to rely on launching these bombs all over the place to deal with, but the almighty Mighty Shot is just making it super easy here. And even this last bit, where there's a block that blocks me from getting over here, nothing to worry about. And getting that last hooligan system is super easy. So yeah, that's Incident 9 there for you. So Incident 10 is very similar in design to Incident 5 here. Basically, kill the turtles to continue, and just do your best. And this level here is probably one of the most demanding levels in this game here. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, and your goal is to mitigate that by any means possible. And what I'm doing right here is skipping all of this switching and jumping between those platforms, which went alright. And due to just some weirdness there in the route, I need to kind of fix this on the fly. Normally there's a way to deal with that guy before we even get to him, but it happens. So, lots of blocks for me to jump between, but why jump when I can just shoot and jump? And this level also has a death warp. I set that up by hitting that last checkpoint there. And if all else goes well, I'll be able to utilize that. So this checkpoint dog right here, we try to get over him just like that, easy peasy. And then some self-inflicted pain here to bring me right to the checkpoint. So Incident 11 is really cool. There's a lot of just navigation based on those blue and red blocks. And my goal here is to basically just have them set up perfectly throughout this level here as well. So keeping them in phase is definitely the best way to deal with all of this, because I can just weasel my way in right here. And then this entire portion is laid out for me just the way I need it. So last hooligan sister gets, and we're just gonna keep on rolling. So we're already halfway through the game, or over halfway, excuse me, that was Incident 8 for that. And now we're hitting the, I gotta play as well as I can. And this is just like a marathon room here. I just need to get to the end and play the game, so I won't have too much to say. If there's donations to be read or any vamping that needs to be done, just let me know and I can keep running my mouth or not. Oh no. That's one you want to make, because she's right here.
Time for a quick donation.
Absolutely.
There is a $10 donation from Samtastic with no comment. Thank you so much, Samtastic.
Thank you very much, Sam. Alright, so one thing I do want to talk about, this is something I've never shown in a marathon. Let's see if I can get it. This route right here can be done, well, never mind, I'm not going to get it. That last jump there, you can actually make it if you carry the momentum all the way through that area. But since I totally beefed it, I am just going to do this the old-fashioned way, so I'm not going to take up too much more time. So that's Incident 12. Now we're moving on to Incident 13, and this is a pretty cool level that's pretty puzzle heavy in design as well. You do need to kind of dig your way down here with these bombs. If I could shoot down, that would be fantastic, but sadly I can't. And now this whole bottom area, normally you'd want to find a way to free up a hooligan sister on the right while utilizing these bombs to get this hooligan sister. But with that mighty shot there, I was able to shoot her in her little jail cell, get her, and now I'm going to damage boost myself through here to cut through all of the enemies instead of having to worry about shooting them down. And the best part here, I can blow up the rest of these blocks here, and let's take it on home. And there's one more right here to grab. So coming up is Incident 14, and this is the crowd favorite for anyone that's run this game. Lots of puzzle logic just getting broken left and right here. Now those hooligan sisters, I would have needed to free up with bombs, and if I was good, I could actually jump from down there and land on the platforms to get to her. But since I beefed it there, I'm just gonna walk and grab her. And now, just gonna get myself back up topside to get to this last hooligan sister here. And so what I'm gonna do is switch the phase of these blocks entirely here, because right here, these bombs can just walk through. Grab that last hooligan sister and do another death warp because I hit a checkpoint entering that area there. And now we're home free.
I just want a quick shout out. Our next one is going to be the Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker Randomizer, and we do have a bid war for that will be closing here really soon. So if you want to see the file name change from the leading of Condor right now, get your donations in very soon.
I might have to do something about that too. That sounds kind of fun. Oh no. Let's take that again here. Alright, so the goal was to launch myself up here to grab this hooligan sister. And now, normally you'd want to take another trip around the world to get to the next one, but, oh, ew. Let's do this the old-fashioned way. Normally you can actually just kind of slide yourself into where that box exists to launch yourself, but my positioning was a little poor there, so I just kind of dealt with it my own way, and that's incident 15. So this last incident coming up is the longest incident because it is an auto-scroller, the coveted auto-scroller at the end of a game, and there's really not much to talk about here either. So I guess while I've got the floor here, I just want to give a shout out to VGMCon for supporting the Midwest Speed Crew. It's so excellent to see them having another venue to host a marathon throughout the year. There's a little bit of lore there because I actually was one of the first people to run for VGMCon back when it was Gamers Rhapsody. One of my favorite video game musicians, Jake Kaufman, he was at the event, and I submitted a panel to them saying, hey, you know what? Jake Kaufman's gonna be here. I run a lot of Way Forward games, who at the time, he was the in-house composer for. So that was pretty easy shoe-in. Got to play this game and DuckTales Remastered for Jake Kaufman, so that was pretty cool. And, you know, that relationship has matured since I have kind of bowed out from the community. So now it sounds like VGMCon loves having Midwest Speed Crew run these things, and makes me so happy because there's a lot of people that really have some excellent talents here that should be showcased. And of course, on top of that, shout outs to the Midwest Speed Crew. You guys have done a lot in my absence. I was one of the first people to really get this kind of started with Sex Rex, and honestly, there was a lot of responsibilities that I needed to focus on instead over this, so hence me not being involved and me not really speedrunning anymore. So honestly, it's a real treat to be taken out of the retirement home by the Midwest Speed Crew, and you know, someone's got to pay for those day passes, and I'm too busy just hanging out, playing other games, and doing my own thing, so thank you very much for encouraging me to come out today. But yeah, we're just working our way towards the end of this level here. It's a culmination of everything that you've seen across the run here. And shortly here, we will be hitting the final boss, with time coming up as well at that time. So yeah, if there's any more donations, feel free to take it away.
Speaking of new donations, somehow you just knew. Avatar Diggs donated $10. During Halloween, Patrika becomes the mighty witch force. So thank you for that wonderful pun in your donation.
Yeah, one thing I didn't go over the course of the run is that the character that is being focused on in Mighty Switch Force does have a name, and it is Patricia Wagon. You know, kind of a play on the whole Paddy Wagon thing. Love WayForward's namings for all of their characters. They're silly and fun. And this last hit will be time, so we have time. Ooh. You can tell I'm retired. 1841. Ouch. Ouch. No, that was fun though. It was really cool to just get some time to showcase this game because, I mean, I can't think of anyone that plays it these days. The community has come and gone, and I've just taken the time to always play this because it's a cool game, as you saw. Lots of fun. So I guess just for a few more shout-outs, I did want to recognize all of the restreamers because, you know, there weren't even donations and restreams at the time when I was running all of this and stuff. So, you know, the Baguette restream, I'm gonna butcher all of this, I'm sure. I want to say merci beaucoup. For Germensch, I wanted to say vielen Dank. For Speedruns Brazil, oh gosh, what was this one? Oh, obrigado? I hope I did that right. I don't know. Japanese restream, I just wanted to say otsukare-sama deshita. So, excellent events. Happy you guys are doing this, and I had a blast. I hope that everyone watching, including you, the person watching this at home, enjoyed this. So, thank you very much, and yeah, let's keep this rolling.